Hey, it's Chris Boling.
Chris Byer.
Welcome, Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson, thank you.
It is
Good to
Bottom
be
Line
here.
Thursday, one of our favorite episodes that we put out per week.
Yeah,
What do you
what's
have for us
happening
this week?
today in
Yeah,
the world of benefits?
what's going on?
I, I've got a life lesson for you that just keeps
Okay.
reaffirming itself. We probably heard it from our parents. Here it is. You ready?
Yeah.
It it
Yes.
pays to shop around.
Oh, yes. That is
Ah,
a
Ever
good
heard
one.
that before?
I
Yeah.
have.
All right, so let's bring it into our world. So TrumpRx, Chris Boling, impression time, please. That's how great is
Something
this
huge,
website?
huge.
There you go. So
Right.
TrumpRx is now up and running. Make sure you do the .gov version because the .com won't get you there.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's really credited for bringing down the price of a lot of name brand GLP-1 drugs. There's some
Yes.
fertility drugs.
Oh,
And keep in mind, the big draw of that site, in my opinion, isn't so much if you have insurance, it's if you don't have insurance. So
right.
it brings those
Right.
cash prices down and I think to its credit, did a decent job at that. But found an article, interesting article by Axios. They found that like of the 40 some drugs on there, about half of them though have a generic alternative, right? So unless
Okay.
you have to have the name brand drug, check for the generics. And
Gotcha.
I'll even give you an example. You guys want numbers? I always like to back it up with
Yeah.
facts. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a drug called Prestique. It's an antidepressant made by Pfizer. Uh,
Okay.
Price dropped to $200 thanks to TrumpRx, but the generic version of that on GoodRx was 30 bucks, and Mark
Hmm.
Cuban's cost plus is $16.65. I'm
Wow.
sure that changes by day.
Wow.
So there's that.
Well, no, that's interesting because we've had a lot of our self-funded employers ask, how is this going to change our drug spend within the health plan? And, great question because it's talking about reducing cost. And as you said, this is for the person without insurance. It's not yet integrated into an employer paid plan.
Yeah. And I think you guys, well, I know you guys work with some creative PBMs outside of the big three quite often. And I know they're getting very smart about finding the lowest cost sourcing for
Yes.
various things. And so maybe for this grouping of drugs, they can go this route. This
Yes.
one, they can go this route.
Yeah,
I
we
think,
we
yeah,
can
ultimately it'll
access.
help everybody, but yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
we can access Cost Plus now through our PBMs, which is great because then it can run through the plan and I feel I don't have any proof to this. It's my opinion, and it'll take Trump RX probably 2 to 3 years, just like it did Mark Cuban, if not longer. And then finally
Yep.
we can access it, as
Get in
well.
the employer plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that it's mainly the brand name drugs. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess that, it is reducing drug price, but there's already the generic, so that yes, it's a win, but at the same time, for most of those drugs, maybe not the GLP-1s, you've got the generic.
I gotta
Yeah.
So Brad,
think,
what do you see that? Oh, go ahead, Chris.
yeah, I gotta think that this is gonna put extreme pressure on a lot of the rows and the hims and the hers and the whatevers of getting the compound drugs of the GLP ones because they're about $300 per month. Well, if I'm gonna get the compound version of this and I gotta put the needle in the vial, pull it back, versus I get this fancy freaking pen. I can't believe many people will still use the compound. Why not just go to Trump RX and get the real deal?
Yeah, then
Yeah.
you know you're getting what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I agree totally, and I so I give credit to Trump RX. It may not be the be all end all, and this is not a political statement. I just think we've got an increase of competition thanks to this,
Yes.
and we've already had good
Yes.
RX. We've had Mark Cuban's program. I think the more of these, the better, and it will just create a more competitive cost environment for the drugs people are taking. So I give it a win for that. But again, pays to shop around. If you find those drugs are helpful, check out a couple other sites.
Love it.
That's
Yeah.
my
Well
life
said.
lesson.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks for sharing.
Next week, I'll
Yeah.
show you how to change the oil in your car.
Oh man, I need that. I need that help. Yes.
Should we
Thank you,
shop
Dad.
for
You take
shop
it to
for our
Quick
oil?
Lube. That's what you do. That's a quick one.
Make sure you shop.
100%. There's no time to do that in the garage. Nope, not happening.
All right,
Love it.
guys. That's what I
Thank you,
got
Brad.
today.
We'll see you.
Thanks,
All
Brad.
right. Bye-bye.